My name's Natalia, and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to write a more effective thesis statement. So I bet you guys have all written thesis statements before for different papers that you've had to write in the past for school. So I'm wondering who can give me a definition of what they think a thesis statement is. Yeah, Mark?
It's your objective or what you're going to be writing about.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. A thesis statement basically is what you're going to be writing about, which is probably how you've learned it up until this point. But I want to give you a tip to make your thesis statement stronger than that, than just what you're going to write about in your paper. So a really strong thesis statement goes beyond just saying, I'm going to talk about this, this, and this in my paper, and actually answers a different question too. And it answers this question of why. Why is the reader interested in what you're writing about? What does it mean to them? What can they do with the information that you're telling them? Or what new or different or interesting meaning do you get out of something from your writing? So with that in mind, I have a couple of different thesis statements here that both would be at the beginning of a literary analysis type of paper. And this particular subject is about the Shakespeare play Othello, about the character Iago representing Othello's kind of like inner demons. So you don't really have to know the play to be able to answer this question, but I want you guys to try to see which one of these thesis statements is stronger and which one is weaker and why that is. So I'll read them to you. The first thesis statement. In Othello, Iago represents Othello's own dark thoughts. And the second one, Othello can be read as the inner struggle of a man against his own mind, with Iago representing Othello's own dark thoughts. So can someone tell me which one they think is stronger and why they think that one is a stronger thesis? Sierra?
I think number 2 is stronger because it's more specific and relates to a bigger picture, like a bigger meaning to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Could you point out what part of it you think gives that bigger meaning?
Well, it has that extra part where it says, as the inner struggle of a man against his own mind.
Yeah, you're totally right. This part definitely, it shows us how we can see a subject differently. In this case, how we can read the play Othello in a different light. And that kind of gives the reader's indication like, oh, this is why it's important that the writer's telling me that Iago represents Othello's own dark thoughts. It really makes a stronger point, and it gives that like stronger punch to your initial argument, which is really what a thesis should do. So to summarize this, I have a couple of tips for you guys in order to keep this why question in mind. And the first is to think of the thesis as a core and not just think of the thesis as summarizing what you're going to say in your paper. Think of it really as a central argument and not just a list of all the topics you're going to talk about. And the last tip is, if you're in doubt, pick a sentence from your paper or any paragraph topic and see how it relates back to your original thesis. And if you have a strong thesis, all of your details should fall under this one main argument that you've constructed. So that's all I have for thesis statements today. And to reinforce these tips, we have a little chant that we're going to do to help you remember how to write a more effective thesis statement. So I wrote a cheer to help you guys remember the main points of a thesis statement, and kind of just for fun too. So I'll sing it to you first, and then we can do it all together. THESIS, answers what's and whys. THESIS, don't just summarize. Thesis statement, central argument. Thesis statement, get the message sent. So now all together.
THESIS, answers what's and whys. THESIS, don't just summarize. Thesis statement, central argument. Thesis statement, get the message sent.
Awesome job.